the Three Tenors were a popular operatic singing group during the 1990s and early 2000s, consisting of Spaniards Plácido, Domingo and José Carreras and the Italian Luciano Pavarotti. The trio began their collaboration with a performance at the ancient Baths of Caracalla in Rome, Italy on July 7, 1990, the eve of the 1990 FIFA World Cup Final. Zubin Mehta conducted the orchestra of Maggio Musicale Fiorentino and the orchestra of Teatro dell'Opera di Roma. The recording of this debut concert became the best-selling classical album of all time and led to additional performances and live albums. Around 1.3 billion viewers worldwide watched their second televised performance 4 years later at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. They last performed together at an arena in Columbus, Ohio on September 28, 2003. History: Italian producer Mario Drodi conceived the idea of the first concert in 1990 in Rome. It was held to raise money for Carreras's foundation, the José Carreras International Leukemia Foundation. It was also for his friends Domingo and Pavarotti a way to welcome Carreras back into the world of opera after his successful treatment for leukemia. The three subsequently sang together in concerts produced by Hungarian Tibor Ruders and other producers, at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles to coincide the final match of the 1994 FIFA World Cup, at the Champ de Mars under the Eiffel Tower during the 1998 FIFA World Cup, and in Yokohama for the 2002 FIFA World Cup. They also toured other cities around the world, usually performing in stadiums or similar large arenas to huge audiences. Nearly 50,000 people attended their 1994 concert at Dodger Stadium. Following the big success of the 1990 and 1994 concerts, the Three Tenors opened a world tour of concerts during 1996 to 1997 period. In 1996 they performed at Kasumigaoka Stadium in Tokyo, at Wembley Stadium in London, at Ernst Happel Stadion in Vienna, at Giants Stadium outside of New York, at Ullevi Stadium in Göteborg, at Olympic Stadium in Munich, at Rhein Stadion in Darwin Düsseldorf and at BC Place in Vancouver on New Year's Eve. In 1997 concerts followed at Cricket Ground in Melbourne, at Skidmore in Toronto, at Pro Player Stadium in Miami and at Camp Nou in Barcelona. The tour was scheduled to end in Houston with a final concert which was eventually cancelled due to very low ticket sales. Outside of their 1996 to 1997 world tour, the Three Tenors also performed 2 benefit concerts, one in Pavarotti's hometown Modena in the summer of 1997 and one in Domingo's hometown Madrid in the following winter, in order to raise money for the rebuilding of the Teatro La Fenice in Venice and the Gran Teatro del Liceo in Barcelona and for the Queen Sofia Foundation. A second series of concerts outside of the FIFA World Cup events held again in 1999 including cities like Tokyo, Pretoria and Detroit, followed by a Christmas concert in Vienna in December the same year. In 2000 the Three Tenors toured again performing live in San Jose, California, Las Vegas, Washington, D.C., Cleveland and Sao Paulo. However, the production had to cancel 2 planned concerts for this tour. One in Hamburg on June 16 due to difficulties in finding a suitable orchestra and conductor, and another one in Albany, New York on July 22 due to poor ticket sales. The later one was replaced by the Brazilian concert in Sao Paulo. One more benefit concert was given by the Three Tenors in December 2000 in Chicago to donate the AIDS Foundation of Chicago. In 2001 2 more concerts was given in Asia, one in Seoul and one in Beijing inside the walls of the Forbidden City. Finally in 2003 they performed in Bath at the Royal Crescent and later in September the same year they gave their last Three Tenors concert, which took place at the Schottenstein Center in Columbus, Ohio. A Three Tenors reunion concert was scheduled to take place on June 4, 2005 at the Park Fundidora in Monterrey, Mexico, but because of Pavarotti's health problems, he was replaced by Mexican pop singer Alejandro Fernandez. The concerts were a huge commercial success, and were accompanied by a series of best-selling recordings, including Carreras' Domingo Pavarotti, The Three Tenors in Concert, The Three Tenors in Concert 1994, The Three Tenors, Paris 1998, The Three Tenors Christmas, and The Best of the Three Tenors. Zubin Mehta conducted the performances in 1990 and 1994. The Paris concert was conducted by James Levine. The Three Tenors repertoire ranged from opera to Broadway to Neapolitan songs and pop hits. The group's signature songs included Nessun Dorma from Puccini's opera Turandot, usually sung by Pavarotti, and the ballad O Sol Mio, which all three tenors typically sang together. Controversies. Royalties. For their initial appearance together in Rome in 1990, Carreras, Domingo, and Pavarotti agreed to accept relatively small flat fees for the recording rights to their concert, which they then donated to charity. Their album unexpectedly reaped millions in profits for Decca Records, causing some resentment on the part of the tenors who officially received no royalty payments. As reported in the press, Domingo suspected that the record company paid Pavarotti on the side, in order to keep one of their top contracted artists' content. Pavarotti denied this, insisting, "We got nothing." Years later his former agent and manager Herbert Breslin wrote that Pavarotti had indeed secretly received $1.5 million that the other two tenors, who were not under contract to Decca, did not receive. For subsequent concerts and recordings, the singers were much more careful in assuring financially advantageous contractual terms for themselves. Criticism. The Three Tenors phenomenon was applauded by many for introducing opera to a wider audience, but some opera purists rebuked them, saying opera was not music for the masses. Some critics believed that the presentation of opera in stadiums such as Wembley, with heavy amps, contributes little to the understanding and appreciation of opera as a Gesamtkunstwerk as Wagner conceived it. Domingo responded to critics in a 1998 interview, "The purists, they say this is not opera. Of course it's not opera, it doesn't pretend to be an opera. It's a concert in which we sing some opera, we sing some songs, we do some Zazula, then we do a medley of songs. We respect very much when people criticize it. That's fine. They shouldn't come. But they should leave the people who are coming and are happy." Other critics complained that the tenors performed for excessive financial remuneration, rather than art. On their first worldwide tour, each tenor received around $1 million per concert, unheard of for classical musicians. In a joint interview with his colleagues, Pavarotti responded to complaints about their incomes, "We make the money we deserve. We're not forcing someone to pay us." Domingo added about the world of opera, "I am giving 17 performances in 25 days. Ask me how much I get for that. For 30 years we have given in blood the best of our lives and our careers. You think we don't deserve money?" Carreras, for his part, stressed how little they made compared to many athletes, pop singers, and movie stars. Legal issues. The success of the Three Tenors led to antitrust action by the U.S. Federal Trade Commission against Warner Brothers and Vivendi Universal. It found that they had conspired not to advertise or discount the albums of the Rome concert and of the Los Angeles concert in order to protect sales of the jointly released album of the 1998 Paris concert. The Three Tenors also encountered trouble with the German government. The group lost a court case over whether they legally had to pay the lower classical music royalty payment rates under Germany law or higher fees reserved for popular music. In addition, the German government accused the tenors of owing large back taxes. Their concert organizer and promoter, Matthias Hoffmann, who was in charge of their taxes at the time, was sentenced to jail time for his role in the alleged tax evasion. Imitations. The success of the Three Tenors formula led to various imitations, such as the Irish tenors, Tenor Australis, the Canadian tenors, the Ten Tenors, Three Tenors and a Soprano, the Three Sopranos, Three Tenors, Les Cantateurs. Copyright Nows, the 2012 China's Three Tenors Tour, the Three Chinese Tenors, Il Divo and Yiddish and Canadian Anglican trios of religious singers both called the Three Cantors. In 2000, Joe Mantovna, George Hamilton and Danny Aiello starred in the motion picture comedy Off Key, loosely inspired by the Three Tenors. Stephen Merritt, Dudley Clute, and L.D. Betole have acted occasionally under the name The Three Tenors. The Brazilian samba singers Moreira da Silva, Bezerra and Icra Cubed produced in 1995 the album Bezerra, Moriera e Dicra cubed os Three Malandros in concert, portraying a satirical imitation as the Three Malandros, Portuguese slang for Bohemian rascals. Another satirical Three Tenors, produced in June 2010, by Latma features singers who resemble Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Bashar Assad singing joyfully about using terrorism to conquer the world from Tennessee to Tehran. In popular culture, throughout the Seinfeld episode The Doll, José copyright Carreras is repeatedly referred to as the other guy, while the names of Domingo and Pavarotti are easily recalled. In The Simpsons episode Homer of Seville, Homer becomes an opera star and gives advice to Plácido Domingo, while referring to him as his third favorite of the three tenors. The Animaniacs cartoon Three Tenors and You're Out featured the trio performing at Dodger Stadium. The Canadian sketch comedy series Royal Canadian Air Force parodied the Three Tenors in a sketch. In the Frasier episode The Perfect Guy, Frasier attempts to impress Dr. Clint Webber by referring to an old friendship he had with Carreras, but it backfires when Clint reveals Carreras is his godfather. In the original Japanese version of the anime series Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's the main antagonists, the three emperors of Iliasta, are called Plácido, Luciano and José copyright in reference to the Three Tenors. List of concerts. Discography. Live concert albums compilation albums Filmography. References. External links: José copyright Carreras, Plácido Domingo, Luciano Pavarotti,